Okay, last but certainly not least is number 20. It says Tim has a savings account with the bank. The bank pays him 1% per year. That sounds like a typical savings account. He has $5,000 and he's wondering when is his balance going to reach $5,200. So, when will his savings reach $5,200? Well, when will f of x be $5,200? That's what he wants to know. So, when is it going to have an output value or y value of 5,200? He's starting with $5,000. Like 0 time has gone by and he already has $5,000. Okay. The bank pays him 1% per year. So that is an increase. It's kind of a sorry increase. It's pretty low. But anyway, that's the way you would represent it because it's increasing at 1% per year. Remember, if it's 1.00, it's not increasing or decreasing, and you're going to get a straight line rather than a curve. All right, so there we go. Now, I can do this, well, I can do this a couple different ways. I can do it the same way we've been doing it, which, I'm ultimately going to have to do the graph and intersect. So f of x equals 5,200. And the other equation we'll do is g of x is equal to 5,000 times 1.01 raised to the x power. Okay. So we can do that, or you're going to get the exact same thing, but you could do this if you were thinking, hey, I could simplify, which you can before you do the graphing. You might be thinking, hey, 5,200 equals 5,000 times 1.01 raised to the x power. And maybe some of you are like, oh man, I could divide both sides by 5,000. Yeah, you could. Okay, I'm going to go back to my calculator. Where's my calculator? Okay, clear. 5,200 divided by 5,000 gives you 1.04. All right, keep that in mind. 5,200 divided by 5,000 is 1.04. Okay. So now this divided by this gives me 1.04. That canceled out over there. And I really just have like 1 times 1.01 to the x. I can do it this way and say f of x is equal to 1.04 and g of x is equal to 1 times 1.01 to the x. Obviously, my window settings will have to be different on this one versus this one, but our x value when we do it should be the same. So let's go ahead and do both ways. We'll do the original way down here first. So go back to your calculator. Clear that. Go to your y equals. Clear all of that out. All right. My first one, remember f of x was equal to 5,200. G of x was going to be equal to 5,000 times 1.01 raised to the x power. Looking at these y value numbers, let's make a window setting adjustment. Again, I don't know for sure what the time interval is, but most of these, they're not going to have you running this out for a zillion years. So let's do from -1 to 10. If it's more than 10 years, it'll run off the screen and we'll have to adjust, but I think we'll be okay. Y minimum, 0 is really probably too little because we're starting with 5,000 and we're going up from there. So I am just going to put 4,000. I'm interested in knowing how long it's going to take me to get to 5,200. So I think maybe like a max of 6,000 is plenty. And let's see, maybe a scale of 200. So each little tick mark on the y-axis is 200. I think that'll do. All right, so let's hit the graph. Bing. Now, at this size, it's hard to tell that this is actually a curve. And also, it's a really gentle curve because remember, it's only increasing at 1%. But that red line is not linear, okay? All right, but I do want to know, when do they intersect? When do both lines have a value of $5,200? So again, I've got to go ask the calculator to give me the intersection. Okay. Take a guess, take a guess. Yes, please take a guess. Okay. And it says that both lines will have a Y value of $5,200 at 3.94. So it's going to be just under 4 years. Okay, X is 3.94 years. That's not exactly, so we'll put the little squiggly. But we did it this way first. Now let's go clear everything and do it this way. It's the same equation, but remember we reduced. But just to prove that, you know, it's all the same. Let's go back to the calculator. Let's clear all this. Clear that. Clear this. All right. This time, f of x is 1.04 and g of x is 1 times 1.01 raised to the x. All right. 1.04. And then, really, I don't even have to type the 1, but I'm going to just for fun. 1.01, close parentheses, raise it to the x. Notice my y values are pretty small this time, 1 and 1.04. So my window settings are definitely, for the y values, going to need to be smaller. I will do 0, maybe up to 2, and maybe go by something really small, 0.1. From my little tick marks, just because remember, I'm only going from 0 to 2 and I want it to actually be big enough to show up. So let's see what we get. Graph. Okay, so still, see, I still didn't use very much of the y-axis. Let's see. Y-min, Y-min. Yeah, that's all right. I'll actually change my scale a little bit. Let's do 0.5. Maybe it'll expand it a little bit. Graph. Nah, didn't really help. Okay, but anyway, I need where these two intersect. So ask the calculator for the intersection. And yes, 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 we want to guess. And it's still 3.94. This time, remember the y value is 1.04 because we had simplified it. But the point is, whether we simplify the problem like we did up here, or whether we just leave it and go for it, the x value was 3.94. Either way, you sliced it. All right. So that does it for your practice and examples. And enjoy your spring break.